Iran has finally officially responded to Donald Trump's peace proposal, but as it turns out, even before that, the US resorted to a trick, and in fact, Trump is entering into a backroom deal with Iran, but now through new intermediaries through Qatar. The thing is, after the unexpected visit of Qatar's Prime Minister to Washington on Friday, today Qatar has officially resumed the export of liquefied natural gas through the seemingly blocked Strait of Hormuz. At first glance, it seems like an economic news story, but in reality, this is the conclusion of a secret diplomatic game, and there's more to come. Trump's chief negotiator, Stephen Witkoff, and U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, suddenly went to a closed meeting with Qatari officials. Even though all this time, Pakistan was considered the main mediator in the negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. But while the U.S. is holding negotiations, Israel has issued its own ultimatum to Iran. And this is a really interesting turn of events. My name is Pechiy. Let's discuss this topic together, but before we start, I ask you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, give it a like, and leave any comment under this video, and subscribe to my Telegram channel, Pechiy News. The link is in the description of this video. There we post breaking news as it comes in. Let's go through this step by step. Iran has finally replied to Donald Trump's peace proposal. Donald Trump's proposal, which was announced at the beginning of last week, but what has changed and why did Iran agree to a dialogue? The answer lies in a series of secret meetings that took place over the past 48 hours. While officials in Washington are making tough statements, Donald Trump's trusted representatives are holding behind-the-scenes negotiations with Qatar, and all of this smells like some kind of collusion. The Iranian regime had long refused to agree to this. Apparently, the pressure worked. Iran, through a Pakistani intermediary, sent its response to the US proposal. Officially, the main focus now is on negotiations about a possible end to the war, not on winding down Iran's nuclear program. Iran officially commented on the American ultimatum regarding the nuclear deal for the first time, making it clear that it does not intend to rush its response to Washington. This statement came shortly after strong doubts. Comments from U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who said that Tehran's response is expected soon. That was on Friday. Washington also emphasized that further escalation and Iran's attempts to expand control in the Strait of Hormuz area are considered unacceptable. But the point is that Trump sent his peace proposal to Iran a week ago and waited for a response for 48 hours, but Iran only replied a week later. Negotiations between Tehran and Washington are progressing with great difficulty. Sources note that the parties have still not been able to bring their positions closer on key issues, including the Iranian nuclear program, sanctions policy, and control over important maritime routes. And the point is that the Iranian leadership has already stated that their country, mind you, has achieved the status of one of the 4 world superpowers. And at the same time, they warned about their readiness to use new types of weapons. Iran feels it has become great, and therefore it also needs to be spoken to accordingly. At the same time, a representative of Iran's armed forces threatened that any actions against Tehran would receive a decisive response. But it's important to understand that for now, it's still unknown what Iran's exact response to the Americans was. And this is where things start to get really interesting. On one hand, Iran conveyed its response to the US through Pakistani intermediaries, while the US started a new negotiation track through Qatar. On Saturday, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Trump's special representative Steve Witkoff met with Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani to discuss the deal with Iran. As is known, the US and Iran are negotiating a one-page memorandum on ending the war and creating a basis for more detailed talks. Qatar plays a key role in mediating between the parties on this issue, but in a rather behind-the-scenes way. And although Pakistan has acted as the official mediator between the US and Iran since the very beginning of the war, the Qataris have been working behind the scenes all this time. According to sources, the meeting was dedicated to discussing ways to reach a memorandum of understanding that would put an end to the war. And one of the sources said that Qatar, Pakistan, Egypt, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia are working together to reach an agreement. But are they truly collaborating, or is each still acting in its own interest? The day before, US Vice President J.D. Vance held an urgent meeting with the same Prime Minister of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani. And immediately after the talks in Washington ended, the Prime Minister of Qatar left the American capital. After this meeting, Qatar stated that it acts as one of the 3 key communication channels between the US and Iran, not 5 anymore, now 3. Its role is critical due to specific reasons. Why? Because Qatari representatives communicate directly with high-ranking generals of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. These military officials have decisive influence over Tehran's decisions in the negotiations. But you may ask, so where is the collusion? And here's where it gets most interesting. It was only after Qatar joined the negotiations, after Qatar became publicly involved in the talks, that Iran finally responded to Trump's proposal. That's the first point. And secondly, it was after these contacts that Qatar, unexpectedly for everyone, for the first time since the start of the war with Iran, managed to send a liquefied natural gas tanker through the Strait of Hormuz. This may indicate a gradual restoration of supplies from the region amid those very negotiations, but no one is talking about this publicly. But here's another detail for you. A Qatari tanker carrying liquefied natural gas, which was loaded earlier this month at the Ras Laffan export terminal in Qatar, has already left the Strait of Hormuz and is now in the Gulf of Oman. And the next destination of the vessel is listed as Pakistan, another intermediary in the negotiations. The tanker traveled along the northern route along the coast of Iran, a route apparently coordinated with Tehran. Interestingly, Qatar has already tried several times before to export liquefied natural gas through the Strait of Hormuz. However, the ships eventually had to turn back. But this time, after such subtle diplomacy by the Qatari Prime Minister, the tanker unexpectedly passed through without incident. Meanwhile, while the US is playing its own games with Iran through Qatar, Israel is acting independently. While the White House was negotiating with the Qataris, Israeli intelligence agencies made a bold move. Israel established a secret military support base right in the deserts of Iraq. The base is located in an area that allows for complete control over Iranian movements. And most importantly, it provides the ability to deliver an instant strike on Tehran's nuclear facilities, bypassing air defense systems. Essentially, Israel is making it clear, you can negotiate whatever you want, but we still have all of Iran in our sights. Friends, I'll leave it at that for now, but I want to immediately remind the Ukrainian-speaking audience of this YouTube channel that I have launched a brand new, exclusively Ukrainian-language YouTube channel, where every evening we sum up the day's events with a focus specifically on the Ukrainian agenda. So I'll leave a link in the pinned comment to this video and in the description of this episode, a link to the new Ukrainian language YouTube channel. Go ahead, subscribe if you still want to see the news in Ukrainian. Write your opinion and your conclusions in the comments under this video, and of course, subscribe to this channel. Like this episode, and if you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you can do so financially with a donation of any amount or a paid membership. You can do this using the links and payment details in the description of this video or by using the QR code on your screen. That's all for now. Take care of yourself. Goodbye, everyone.